juiced you up.
People are making comments about your weight and the way you look, but you look quite sharp in there.
Yeah, no, do you know what it is? I'm always going to be sharp because I train hard and whatever else, but I eat too much. So I'm making myself to think. I can't remember what I weighed, but if I'm not, so I was probably like 124 kilos. If by my next fight I'm not 116, I'm going to give 20,000 to Weight Watchers. Being serious. And I make myself the weight bet. If I am not 116 or below kilos, I'm paying Weight Watchers.
So, Lawrence Okolie has joined the long list of boxers that have failed drugs tests. Oh no. He's implied that this has occurred due to treatment that he got for an injury. Now, I've seen so many people just automatically say he's guilty and that he's a drugs cheat. Give it time. Let's actually see what happens here. But it doesn't look good at all. It doesn't. This was the bicep injury he had in the Lorena fight. And it's no secret that his weight has been a problem ever since he's moved up to heavyweight. In his last fight against Tete, he was 271 pounds. Now, you don't have to be in the best shape to beat Tete, but you don't have to also come in bad shape the way he did. Professional athletes are held to the highest standard when it comes to anti-doping. And if you are found with something in your system, there isn't any light excuse you could give. You have to really explain and justify why it was in your system. There's strict liability. And there's a strict criteria for a therapeutic use exemption here. So it's going to be very difficult. And hopefully he can justify how it got into his system, because it seems to be that he's saying it was the treatment that he took.
GHRP2 stands for growth hormone releasing peptide 2. It's a synthetic ghrelin analog designed to stimulate your own natural growth hormone release from the pituitary. It works by mimicking your own body's hormone rhythm, creating a short controlled GH pulse. In preclinical and limited clinical studies, GHRP2 has shown potential to improve recovery, fat metabolism, and lean muscle growth when used with GHRH.
The issue for him is the court of public opinion have already made their mind up. They're already labeling him a drugs cheat. And he has to take accountability as a professional athlete because it's a prohibited substance. If you are getting treatment and you're a professional athlete, you have to make sure the doctor is aware of what's not allowed in your system. And you should be extremely strict with it because there's strict liability. You can't justify, I didn't know, we don't want to hear contamination, because that's the only reason we seem to be getting from a lot of fighters that fail drugs tests. It was contamination, or there's no evidence of it being taken deliberately. You can't prove anyone took anything deliberately. So hopefully he's able to clear himself, but it just doesn't look good. Because it's just a stain that you have as a fighter once you're caught with any substance that shouldn't be in your system. It stays with fighters. That reputation is tarnished. It's stuck with pretty much every fighter that has failed the drugs test. The perception is always the same. You're still a drugs cheat. You're still a drugs cheat. And even if you are cleared, in the eyes of the public, you're never fully cleared. So it's just a terrible situation to be in. And I'm surprised that Queensbury actually cancelled the whole event. Like, I thought they could have got a replacement heavyweight of a big enough name that would have made sense. Like, what about all of the other fighters that were on this card and that have been in training camp for weeks? Why would you just cancel the event? Like, surely, I even saw that Adelaide put himself forward that he was ready. So I understand tickets may have been one of the reasons, but from what I've seen that Yoka was selling quite well in France. So why have they just cancelled this? Like, if both fighters failed the drugs test, then yeah, it makes sense. Cancel it. But the main event should have still continued with a replacement opponent. Like, this isn't fair on everyone else that's on the card. Like, do they still get paid? Do they get paid a percentage? Like, how are they going to cover their expenses for their training camps? I've not known promoters to do this automatically. So I hope that they're compensated, but it's just a shame, this whole situation, and the stain on the reputation of a fighter once this happens, it just never goes completely. So hopefully he's able to clear himself and there's a reasonable explanation. If it's treatment, there are things like steroid creams. There are treatments that do have steroids and certain substances in them, but this is someone who's an athlete. And as a professional athlete, you know the list of what you can and cannot have